Well, the highlight of the Lincolnshire show for many are, of course, the livestock and equine rings. Many visitors come to see the native Lincoln red cattle and Lincoln longwool sheep. And for competitors, winning at the home show is like winning gold. Now I've come down to the cattle section, and with me is Judge David Wright, who's been judging the commercial beef cattle today here at the show. Now David, just explain to us, what is a commercial beef? What do we mean by it?
Well, commercial beef is beef or beef animals that are produced for the meat market rather than for breeding.
Okay.
Some of the heifers in the commercial beef will go on for breeding, but the male cattle are all castrated animals and they will go on for meat.
And do we have particular breeds within the commercial beef then? It's not just a breed itself, is it?
No, there's various breeds. There's what we call traditional, which is your Aberdeen Angus, your Lincoln Red, your Hereford, your Welsh Blacks, all the native breeds. And then we go on to the Limousins, the Belgian Blues, the Simmentals, and all the other continental breeds.
So as a judge, what do you actually look for then? I mean, you said the classes are divided into lightweights, heavyweights, heifers and steers. So what do you look for?
Well, we try to pick the best animal of each class. At the end of the day, we're looking for meat. When I look at an animal in the commercial beef classes, I'm looking at a carcass rather than a beef animal. So I want a carcass that's uniform throughout for conformation, thickly fleshed, with enough fat cover to produce tender beef.
From what you've been judging today, what have the entries been like, Dennis?
Very good, first class show. The champion beast is one of the best beasts I've seen for a long, long while. It's evenly fleshed and thickly fleshed with enough fat cover to produce quality beef.
Well, with me now is Trevor Lyon, who, Barney, you can see behind me, is the supreme champion today of the commercial beef. Trevor, how does it feel, Barney, here?
It feels brilliant to win at Lincolnshire show.
Now, tell us about Barney then. What is he exactly?
He's a Belgian Blue cross steer out of the Limousin cow.
Okay.
I bought him, I judged at Barnard Castle in November, and I put him up as champion at Barnard Castle and bought him. So we bought him as a calf, hence his name Barney.
That's a good one. Now, we've already spoken to the judge about today and what he was looking for. What do you have to do to prepare beasts for the day?
There's obviously the feeding is the main thing to get them into a condition where they are, you know, like a butcher judging today. He feels for the meat.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the meat on them. You've got to have them clipping them. There's quite a lot of clipping preparation. And then you do the cosmetic bits. You put the black on and black soap and
washing and preening and the like.
Yeah.
They're very pampered then.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Now, what happens to Barney now then? Is it guaranteed then that they're going to remain a champion or not?
No, because everybody's opinion is different. Everybody's got a different opinion about what they're looking for. A butcher judge today, so he was looking for meat.
Brilliant. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
That's all right, thank you.
Congratulations for your win.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Well, wasn't Barney gorgeous? And Trevor did say he was the gentlest bull ever. Nicola, we're here today at Cereals, and one of the big things that is recently being debated at the Arable Conference is what issues are there in attracting young people to go into the industry?
Well, the debate we've had today on attracting young farmers into the new entrants into our business has highlighted a series of problems that we have, not least actually the landlord and tenant system, which I think quite frankly is probably outdated now for what we need. We need to move towards a system that lets people run businesses that take on farms so the farmers aren't owning the land anymore. So I mean, if you think about it, in any other sector, you would never expect to own your factory and the business that you've got in the factory. We need to have that sort of a system where people can have much more flexibility to set up and grow, perhaps using a combination of contract farming and contracting work, two different things of course, to let people grow and develop their businesses as they build up their capital.
What do you think should be done more to help with the water irrigation and the reservoir problems?
We've actually had not one but two really dry winters, which is when we normally recharge our reservoirs, our aquifers. If we move into a third dry winter, we're going to have real problems. So we just need to rethink. We need to value water as a resource. But it's a very interesting factor that the crops that are irrigated are the high-value crops. They're the crops that go for human consumption. They're also the crops that invariably create the jobs in the local economy. Many of our farms need a reservoir, and we need to change the way the permission system works for that. It's far too complicated, far too bureaucratic at the moment.
We are often hearing in the media that we seem to be having a lot of dry spells. We've got drought. Is there a demand from the farmer then for more tolerant crops to maybe the new climate conditions we might experience?
Well, obviously when a farmer's growing a crop, he's also looking, as well as profitability, he's looking at risk management, because he is growing probably a range of crops over a big acreage, and therefore timeliness of operations on these crops is important. And any way that we can breed into a variety better disease resistance, or the ability to handle drought conditions, or the ability to handle cold wintry conditions, means that that gives them that flexibility. During the process of the breeding programs in Lima grain, we are continually increasing the yield potential. The genetics are improving all the time within the crops. So it's like buying a new car. You're always buying something that goes a little bit faster and a little bit smoother when you're looking at new varieties. And obviously growers are looking at a range of varieties to fit a range of end uses.
I mean, essentially the UK farmers and the UK renewables is a very high part of our strategy. Our procurement strategy is priority number one, if you like. It's the most local, most sustainable of the products that we buy. So we have an active long-term contracts with local farmers where we can bring the product into the power station and buy it. So we've engaged with the farming community for 3 to 5 years now, and we're actively signing contracts, and we're here at Cereals to keep doing so.
And is it a lucrative thing for a farmer to want to go into as well? Financially, are they rewarded well?
I think if you were to look at the margins and look at the financials of biomass, on the right type of land it's certainly competitive against medium to marginal land. It's very competitive against the standard arable rotation, for example. On first grade land, good land, 1-2, then you shouldn't be growing this material. It should still be growing food, as most of it does, and our sustainability policy actually prevents us from buying that. But the economics also balance in that method. So yeah, anything from medium grade land to low grade land, this is certainly a financial benefits to it.
Oh, it's been brilliant. I mean, you just have to look around. Hopefully the cameras will show that later on.
Well, that's another Lincolnshire Show special over for another year. We've had a fabulous time, and the wet weather didn't dampen anyone's spirits. Until next time, from all of us, goodbye.